You know, what stands out about John and Nancy to me is just their warmth and humility. They are just wonderfully good people. They're who people want to be.
They are very inspirational in the success they've had in their careers, what they've done. But it's also then that second step of their compassion for the community.
And they're such a team. Something we've always really admired is how they work so well together.
When Nancy and I first met, it was at a fraternity sorority exchange at the Fiji House on the University of Minnesota campus.
I think it was a little bit of love at first sight, and actually got married a week after I graduated from the U, and a real joyful wedding. And here we are 51 years later.
My first job wound up being at Northwestern National Bank in Minneapolis, and it was just a phenomenal opportunity for me. And just got to know people, learn how to lend money, learn how to manage relationships for many, many years at the bank.
I started with him in 1979. He'd already been there for 10 years and instantly was struck by what a professional he was. He was the hardest worker I ever saw. He taught me a lot about how to conduct myself in a business situation, how to treat clients.
I was running the majority of commercial lending after being there for 16 years, and when the opportunity came to change careers.
And so they hired him from Norwest Bank in 1984 to come over to Norwest Equity Partners and start Norwest Equity Partners.
So they brought me on to start and lead the leverage buyout business, which we then called Norwest Equity Partners. I think what gets me most excited about our company is the ability for us to invest and build management teams and companies. Our first fund was small, around a $45 million fund. We have now just raised our 10th fund, Norwest Equity Partners 10, which is a $1.6 billion fund.
I think his motivation really comes from who he is. I think it is in his DNA, and I think that good person does well and then does good. And he's so humble and so quiet about what he does. You would simply never know the great scope of his business achievements.
As John's career was taking off, I needed intellectual stimulation and ways to give back, and my heart was big and there were so many opportunities. So I've been able to dabble in healthcare, in social services, and I've been blessed because I've served on 29 nonprofit organizations over the last 30 years.
What really motivates me has changed over time. When I was in banking, it was to develop becoming a very, very good commercial lender and to develop the people that I worked with, but more importantly, the people who worked for me. And I think what has changed is that sounds very economically driven. Now it is the ability to give back to the community our time, our treasures, and our talents. And Nance has been a tremendous leader for me to follow into that path, and so we now contribute a lot of time and efforts into the nonprofit world.
John says that he keeps working so I can keep giving, and he calls himself the great pass-through.
Every nickel that I make, Nance finds an organization that needs it and gives it away.
It's a good deal.
John and Nancy have inspired me and others in many ways, certainly their success in the business community and their incredible gifting of their time and resources to the nonprofit community. But they stand above so many people in their dedication to their family.
How we want to be remembered as a couple is what I would hope to be very good parents for our kids and good grandparents for our grandkids. Beyond our family, I really hope that we're remembered for our commitment to the community.
I want John to be remembered as someone who had a plan and a mission with Norwest Equity Partners. He really started as a sole partner and built this in to the most outstanding equity firm in the Midwest. And because of his success, we've been fortunate enough to give to others. I guess more than anything, I would like our tombstones to say they cared, they loved this place, and they left it a better place than they found it.